Yeah, welcome in. This Creator CTO Live. I'm JL Garofalo, and we're back, baby. We are back and better than ever. Today is Monday, June 22nd, and we are continuing a build from a previous live stream. Today, we're going to build a website from scratch using Claude Code. And the website that we're going to be building, we've already designed using Claude Design when we messed with that a few weeks back. And now we're coming back to build the real thing. We're going to build it directly from Claude Design. We're going to hand it off to Claude Code, and then we're going to have Claude Code build it out. And then we're going to talk about where do you put a website after you built it. All these questions you might have if you want to build a website for your channel or a web product for your channel. Now that AI makes it super easy and cheap to build stuff, you should be building a website for your channel if you don't already have one. So follow along in this live stream, ask any questions about product, about AI, about tech stuff. If you're unsure how websites work, what pieces need to be in place, where do they go, how do they get there, ask them in the chat. That's what I'm here for. I'll be here the next hour or so, helping you answering any questions and live building so that you can see my thought process, my decision making, how I'm thinking about this stuff as I'm building a website for this channel, this very exact channel. Welcome in, chat. It's good to see you. Let's pull up this website. Long John Silver's. Where is it? I just had it. It's not the right one. Here we go. Sorry, I was looking for the right format. All right, so we're building creatorcto.com. It's a website for this channel. Every brand, every channel, if you are a content creator, you should have a somewhere for your audience to go so that you can capture the value of that audience and it's not rented. I'm sure if you are a content creator, you've heard horror stories about people who have worked a long time, put a lot of energy and effort into building a following on one of these social media platforms only to have it pulled out from under them because they didn't follow some rules or they said something a little saucy or for whatever reason the platform is like, nope, you're out of here, and they've lost their audience. So the best way to combat that is by capturing your audience on a platform where you own it, not where you're renting it like YouTube or X or TikTok, but instead getting them onto your own email list, your own text list, marketing list, whatever you want to call it. Basically, getting your audience's information so that you can contact them directly. It's very important to have a website. We're going to build one today for this very channel so you can see what goes into that, how I'm thinking about it. And we're going to start here just with this landing page. And in subsequent live streams and videos, we'll build upon this product so you can kind of see how you go from a website, a landing page, into building more and more product offerings for your audience and having that work coherently with your landing page, have it all kind of work together, this product ecosystem you want to offer. If you weren't here for the live stream a few weeks ago where we built this, we messed around with Claude's new tool called Claude Design, which is what you're looking at here. That's what this is. This is right. They worked this right into the Claude desktop app product. For me, it showed up here on this bottom left tab. There's a little design thing. You can click into that. We got the Creator CTO mockup here. This is what we had from the last session, creatorcto.com. It's got some placeholders here for the navigation. We got videos, pillars, about, newsletter. Right now, there is no newsletter. There's no video integration as we've gotten this channel off the ground. And so some of this stuff on this landing page is a little bit more wishful thinking than something that we need to build right now. So we're going to get into that and give Claude those instructions not to necessarily build all this immediately so that our visitors aren't going in here and clicking stuff that we don't have. But it is helpful to mock up from a place of what do you want this to ultimately be? And then working your way to that when you're actually building it code-wise. Now with AI making the code part so much easier, that step should be a lot less painful and it should be a lot more seamless. And so designing for what you ultimately want is a much better path. You can kind of just give that directly to the bot and say, hey, build this thing out. It's got this little cool ticker here. We don't have much announcements here, but you can imagine as we start to put out more and more content, we're going to want more and more like breadcrumbs back to that content, things that are promoting that content. So we likely want to show the latest content, the latest things that we're putting out on this landing page. Again, we won't have this integration right off the bat, but it's an easy thing to build in for a media brand. A media brand is built around creating content that people spend their attention on, right? It's about creating artifacts, media for an audience who wants to consume that media. And so, of course, on our landing page, we want to showcase that core competency. The what are we actually here to give you? Content, value, and content. It also talks about the four pillars here on this landing page. All of this is just to help the person who lands on this page be like, yeah, okay, this is for me. This is like I'm interested in the creator product flywheel. I have an audience. I'm interested in figuring out how to build stuff for them or how to get value from that audience, generate value for that audience or from that audience. Or I'm interested in AI native building, right? You're either interested in building AI tools or you're not. It's not really like that much in between. Or if you are in between, you want to be one way or the other. You wish you were. Same with like creator business infrastructure. These, there's like lessons and stuff that this channel is built around uh, providing value for creator media businesses, people who want to build brands, but it's not the only brands that where these principles apply. But for creator brands, this is certainly for them. So we want to have some stuff on our landing page that will specifically make somebody who's a creator who wants to build products for their audience where they're like, hey, oh shoot, this I just found what I'm looking for. It doesn't need to be for everybody. My mom is not going to really understand this landing page in the same way that I want my audience to understand it because my mom's not a content creator. She's not going to get it. Or she'll get it, but she'll be like, oh, this is nice. It's not the same. So really on our landing page, we almost want to intentionally design for that. We got some frequently asked questions here. Do I need to know how to code? That's one that will come up likely. Who's this for? These are easy ones. Again, help with that self-selection. Stop renting audience. We'll have to change these stats because they're not true. But so far, I like the concept, the end goal. This is ultimately close enough to the vision of what I want to have for the landing page for this site. And we'll of course tweak it over time. It does not need to be perfect. We just want we want some real estate, some digital real estate out so that we can start capturing this value. And ultimately we'll build this newsletter feature out so that we can start building some re-engagement into this for our audience, get our audience back in the door. But we're not going to do that today. We'll get into that another time. Today, what we're focusing on is going from 0 to 1 on this website, building it, taking it from Claude Design here and moving that into an actual website that we can start deploying, getting out there. All right. So first thing we're going to do, assuming that you don't want to make any more changes to your mockup and stuff, there are some changes I would get into here, but I'm not going to. It's not important for us to spend. Like we can get it up and then make the changes. So I'm going to focus on that part. We'll go here to share and send to. And so I haven't done this. We're going to do this in real time together so that you can see some of the obstacles I hit. If we do hit obstacles, some of the questions that might pop up and how I solve them. And ultimately, I'm going to turn a lot of these live streams into more polished videos that are about the specific topics. But I'm doing these live streams as more of a way to bring the audience, bring you into this process. And it also forces me to start going through it and stuff, figure out which ideas are good, which videos might be good, or which topics might be good videos, that type of thing. So let's go ahead and do this together. Claude Code, hand off the project to your terminal. Okay, so I'm send to your local coding agent or send to Claude Code Web. This is just essentially they run your repository on their servers is what Claude Code Web is, so that you don't have to have your computer up. We don't have that set up, so you can go ahead and use this via the local coding agent since I do have Claude Code set up. If you don't have Claude Code, you haven't set that up on your computer yet, then highly recommend doing that. Maybe I'll make a video about how to set that up. It's pretty straightforward. If you go to Claude Code docs and follow the instructions. So make sure the Claude Design MCP connector is connected. I don't know if I have that. If it needs authorization, tell the user to run /design login. So we might need to do that. Let's go ahead and copy that one over. Oh, and if you haven't already, make sure you check out my new YouTube channel, Creator CTO. It's where I'm putting all this content related to tech, related to AI, related to brand building. If you know me outside of this, you know me almost certainly from fantasy football world, which is where I'm building my own media company in that industry, in that niche. But the creator CTO stuff is more general. It's more business related and more related to helping other creators, helping other brand builders use this tech, use AI, and ultimately build products that your audience loves, because that's super fun. I love building products. I love making content. It's both. It's kind of two sides of the same coin. Uh, but that's what I'm here for. So check out that YouTube channel, Creator CTO. It's brand new, just getting it off the ground. You can find more of the content there. All right, so copy prompt. Let me make sure that I have this thing, because it's, or I guess this is the prompt. So it's, we can just have we can have the bot do it, or you can download a zip instead for agents without Claude Design Connector. Drop the bundle into your agent's chat manually. Let's do that since I don't have this design connector. Give the agent more detail on what to implement. Optional. Creator CTO landing page dot HTML. Import the attached creators. Read the README inside. Implement creator CTO landing page dot HTML. Okay, so a couple things to note here. Either of these routes are fine. You can go through the Claude Design MCP connector. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. And what that is essentially a mechanism that lets you share context information with the bot, intentionally share context information with the bot without giving it access to everything. You can just say, hey, here's the context that the bot should have access to, and here's how it gets access to it. Um, since we don't have that set up, we'll go ahead and go through this zip route instead. Maybe a little bit of the longer road, but that should be fine. And the other piece of this is that it looks like it's going to give it to us in a HTML, like just a plain HTML bundle, which is fine. But we need to make a decision here on what stack we want to use to build this website. It's just one of the earlier decisions you got to make whenever you're building any sort of product like this, web product, digital product, is what framework or technology do you want to use to actually build, to write and build the actual product in code. And there's a ton of different ways that you can do this. There's frameworks that you can use that handle all the process. There are frameworks that you can use that handle parts of the process, and you can connect them together. Essentially, what all of this computer science code stuff boils down to is it's all layers on top of each other to make it easier, right? It all kind of starts at the bottom. It's like you got the dirtiest weeds. You're doing like memory stuff, moving all around. Then there's a language on top of that that lets you work in there easily, and a bunch of other stuff that's built on that uses that translation layer. And it's that all the way up. And ultimately, people have so many web technology code software is so ubiquitous these days that of course there's probably hundreds of different ways that you can do the same exact thing, like build a website or build a website bundle that you can host. The most simplest way, what all browsers work on, is HTML and CSS. It's like the old school way. And so that, it looks like that's what it gave it to us in. I can pull this up so we can take a look at it. But we need to work with the bot to figure out what do we want to build this in, and like what language, what frameworks do we want to use, and then ultimately that will also inform where we want to host it. When you have a website, like when we go to youtube.com/@creatorcto, this URL, our browser it can take this URL and it translates it down into a number address. It's called your IP address. It uses that to figure out, or it goes to another service called a DNS, which figures out where that website is hosted. Where does it live? What server, does it live on? Where can I get the website code so that I can give it to this user who's asking for it? So ultimately, you need to have your website, after you build it, you need to have it hosted somewhere. You need to have it somewhere where other people can access it via the internet. And ultimately, many people use cloud services, managed cloud services like AWS, if you ever heard of it. Google Cloud Services. These AWS exists for this purpose. It's cloud services. You put your code on their server, and then you make their server. You point your address to your code on their server. And then when people go to it, they hit the internet. They don't have to go through your computer to get to your code. They can just get it quick, much faster than going through you. So ultimately, that's we have to make that decision as well, where we're going to put this. I'm not going to get too big into like that decision is a big decision that you got to make whenever you're building a product. Like where do I want to host this? What stack am I going to use? And it forms so many decisions downstream, even down to like if you're going to hire for help. At least before AI, engineers, were specialized in a certain stack a lot of times. So they have it would inform who your who like your pool of options for who you could even hire. It's a little bit less important now with AI can write any sort of code, any sort of stack, any language. Um, but you still need to take things into consideration, like what are you ultimately going to build this into? What how many people are you expecting? What's the volume, and what interactions are you going to ultimately build up? And that might change which stack you use. Like for instance, if you're building like a financial trading platform where people can submit trades, like Robinhood, then you need to use a stack where there's a lot more robustness in the timing of everything. If it's much more important to nail the security, the timing of all that. Whereas if you're just building a landing page, it doesn't need to be anything, it just got to be HTML. It's fine. People are just going to see it to get the information. So think about that. You want to think about some of these questions before you pick your stack. But ultimately, I'm kind of off in a diatribe here. So let me pull this back into this. We're going to go ahead and build this out, and we're going to use a framework called React, which is very popular. It's an open source library that's created by Facebook, and it's largely dominated like front end web development over the last 5-10 years or so. Uh, it's not the main one I use typically in my work. I use a framework called Rails, which handles a little bit more of the process. It's a little different than React. React is more of a front end framework, but React and Node is a more popular, more common stack for people to use nowadays. If you ask Claude to come up with it, he almost certainly would recommend some sort of Node JavaScript stack, and that's fine. We're going to go with that for this website because I want to show you that path. I think it is the more common path, the more likely path you're on if you're already started building a website for your brand. But yeah, ultimately, it's not the only path you can go. Just keep that in mind. All right, so give the agent more detail on what to implement. Let's go ahead and look at this first zip. Okay, so I got that. Let's get into project. Uh, okay, so this looks like we got an HTML. This is the HTML landing page. These are some JavaScript. It already wrote this in some React. This JSX is React, so it might have already made that decision for us. Here's some landing page example. Okay, that's pretty sweet. In the export, it includes some landing page examples so that the bot can have that context. It also includes the copy that we came up with on the page. Sweet. All right, so we now have that. We can go into our terminal, or you can go into, I think, let's see, Claude has if you're unfamiliar with the terminal, or if you're uncomfortable working in there, you can also do this via the Claude desktop app, and go to the code tab. And you can go to this code tab where you can access the chats with your different Claude Code sessions. It doesn't matter which of the two you want to do. We'll do this just for now so that it's a little easier. We're going to get out of this creator CTO. I think I already maybe made something for this. Let me make a new folder. I'm going to call it creator CTO site, creator CTO com. And we will, let's see, and then we'll, where did it go? Come back, come back, come back. Okay. And then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to move this. The zip file. I'm going to go ahead and move that into our project file so that it's all in one spot. It's called creatorcto.com. Now it's in there. Sweet. And now we have it here, creator CTO com is the folder we're working in. You can make this, if you're starting from scratch, just make a new folder, put in the content of the zip file that Claude Design gave you, and then put that into the new folder, and then come back to Claude Code, and we can go ahead and start asking our question. Okay, so what do we want to do? All right, so what we want to do is we have the mockup, we have the HTML file. We want you to act as an expert front end engineer, specializing in React, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, Tailwind CSS, and all the modern front end web development practices. It's maybe a little bit extra, but give it a little juice, you know. Uh, your task is to build out the initial uh, application website. Sorry, not application. The initial web app product based off of the mockup design documents stored under, where did I put this? So here's my folder, my project folder, creator CTO comp, and then here's the creator CTO hyphen comp under creator CTO comp, and we'll tell it was created by Claude Design. That way, maybe it has some context on some of the files and stuff. Maybe it has some context on like how to use the exact zip structure that Claude Design came up with. If not, it will be able to figure it out easily. But that's why I said created by Claude Design. So that your task is to build out the initial web app product based on the mockup design document stored under under that subdirectory. Initial web app product. Let's say build out the initial. And we're going to use Next.js for this. It's a framework. It's a framework that is essentially it's a React-based framework that lets you build the entire full stack web application here. If you're just building a React app, then you're just building a front end. That's all React does. React doesn't handle anything related to the back end or the server stuff. It's all based off of the browser. And so typically when you have a React app, you have it connected to some sort of external API or a third-party API, somewhere where you're interacting with a database and you have database records that are interacting with each other, and you can build more and more complex applications, but React doesn't handle all that. So that's where Next.js comes in. That is the full server framework that serves the React app as well as does the handling of the backend stuff. Again, it's another framework to just do some of the same stuff here, but it is extremely popular. It's gotten way popular over the last 5 years. It's kind of like become the standard for web development a lot. All the Rails engineers cry. So we'll use that because, like I said, it's the more popular framework. I want to show you what you might already be using, how to use some of this stuff, but ultimately it isn't anything different than what we've already said. So the task is to build out initial Next.js application based off of the mockup design document stored under creator. The application is a landing page for creator CTO YouTube channel where audience members can sign up for additional value and content. That's a weak prompt. But whatever. Act as an expert or an engineer. All right, task to fill out the initial. Okay, so let's see what it does with this. Let's see what it does with this. Send it. Send it, JL, you coward. Send it. It's been sent. Now we wait, chat. How we doing, chat? Welcome in. It's good to see you on this Monday morning. It is very good to see you. Hey, if you got questions on AI or you're using AI for stuff and you're trying to figure stuff out, I'd love to hear about it. Throw your questions in the chat or send me a message. If you want to come on, you're building something cool, I want to see it. Come on here. Come show us. Come show us soon. Pretty soon, I'll be putting out a video about where I interview my friend who is launching a new application, new AI developed application that's all about like folder cleanup and stuff, managing files and stuff as a creative. That video should be coming out this week. If you're interested in seeing how other people are launching, creating and launching products, check that out. Okay, so now we got some questions from this dork, this AI dork. Cool, cool, cool. Styling approach. And that's asking this question. How should the newsletter email sign up work? Functional form plus API stuff. Real email input with validation, Next.js API route that logs store submissions, wire a real provider later. Visual only, match mockup buttons exactly, no working capture yet. Form plus provider now, wire a real email provider immediately needs API key and provider choice. So part of me, initially, my thought process is no, let's not do the newsletter now. Let's separate it out. We're just doing the landing page, and ultimately, the newsletter is secondary value. It's a re-engagement technique. It's how we keep providing value to our audience, ongoing value outside of the platform, but it's not the most important thing to get out immediately. So I'm trying to think between visual or maybe like a stub that we can just hide. Like we can build out the real email input with validation and then have it stub this part so that it's just not functional because we know we're gonna build it. We know it's gonna have to go through an API endpoint. No working capture yet. Link subscribe to YouTube. I think we just go visual. Let's keep it simple. Theme scope, dark only. Dark and light toggle. Let's just stick with dark. I don't care. Styling approach, Tailwind plus CSS var tokens or port inline styles tokens as is. Tailwind utilities design tokens as CSS variables. Use your stated stack idiomatic Next.js. Okay, so this is asking about the styling. Tailwind is another library if you're unfamiliar with it. Another library built on top of CSS, made to make working with CSS easier. It has a bunch of utilities and stuff in there. And I did specify Tailwind, didn't I? Yep, Tailwind right here. So that could be why it's doing it. Otherwise, keep the designs in style, React, faster fidelity, less idiomatic. Yeah, let's just do Tailwind. I've been in that terrible Tailwind world for a little bit now, so it's easier. Just easier. All right. All right, Claude, figure it out, brother. Where'd it go? Get out of my face. Here we go. All right, so now it's scaffolding the Next.js app. So if you're interested, like, let's do this. What alternative frameworks exist to Next.js? Explain Next.js to me. Explain what Next.js framework is from first principles. Or explain it to me as if I'm 5 years old. A classic framing question. I'm doing this because I feel like the bot probably has a better way of explaining this than I just did. React is the bucket. Imagine you want to build a website like building a Lego city. React is the bucket of Lego pieces. It gives you buttons, cards, menus, forms, pages, the pieces you use to build the screen. React Oh, already got that. Next.js is the instruction book, the table, the storage bins, and some helpful grown-up tools. Grown-up tools. Man, get out of here. It tells you to put your pages here. I'll help the website load fast. I'll help Google understand your pages. I can make some pages ahead of time. I can make some pages on the server when someone visits. I can help with routes, images, APIs, caching, deployment. It's a lot of like the facilitating of the website stuff. Whereas React is just like, I'm here, I'm pretty, like this is me. Take me for what I am. Next.js is a full stack React framework. It helps you build websites with web apps using React, but adds routing, server rendering, static generation, API routes, server functions, image optimization, caching, and deployment conventions, which is all the nitty gritty you got to figure out when you're web developing typically. But Next.js compartmentalizes that, so you don't have to figure as much of that out. Alternatives, Vite is a very popular one. I'm pretty sure it's Vite. I know it's either Vite or Vite. I know they even say it in the thing. I went to a conference recently and they were like, "Yep, it's this." I don't remember still. So this is a little bit more simpler. Next.js is more like full form. You want to build like a big like server. You have an application that's going to have more server side work that needs to be done. Then you want to go React. You want something that's more just landing page marketing material. Vite and React is probably the way to go. React Router was a common library that used before Next.js was really popular, which you had to handle your own routing on the React side. And so that's what React Router is. Next.js came out and kind of handled that process as part of its server side rendering stuff. This might be getting too deep into it for some of you if you're non-technical, but I think there's value in understanding some of this stuff because you'll hear these terms, you'll hear this jargon, and it's helpful to know which jargon's actually like related to something core you need to know, and what's just like an option for what you could use. It's just an alternative that you would know it if you're using it, but not that you don't need to know Next.js. Not all software engineers are super familiar with Next.js. And then Rails, I mentioned that one before. I use that one quite a bit. They're not it's not React. You can serve React app from a Rails app, but most of the time they're used separately. And it's more of like the traditional kind of full stack model. And before it was really quick to work within Rails because you didn't have to go switch between different apps to get a single feature done. All right, this mofo is still going. Still going. How we doing, chat? Welcome in. If you got any questions on AI or tech or building products for your audience, let me know. Throw them in the chat. That's what I'm here for. Dude, this has preview now? This is a browser preview? Since when? Since when did this have a browser preview? That is sweet. Okay. Still cooking. This looks really good. Tech translation, creator business infra. Oh, I don't have any testimonials yet. I don't know who Marcus T is or Sarah K. If anyone wants to give me a testimonial, let me know. Frank in the chat. Okay, desktop grid's correct. It's making it responsive. It's working through the responsive is like it looks good on different size screens, mobile screens, phones, desktop. You gotta think about all this stuff now that you're an engineer. You gotta think like an engineer now that you got AI to be your engineer. Using Claude preview value. Hero matches designed precisely. Ah, so this is our actual application. This is like this is rendering a local version of our website. When we go to deploy our website, it's going to run this exact code. Whereas in Claude Design, what we had up before, sorry, it's in the same app, so I can't pull it up. What we had in Claude Design was just it was like it was a painted picture. The code there was not really code that did anything behind it. It was just the front end picture part of it. Now from that step to this step, we now have an actual working application that we can build upon. It has the landing page, the marketing parts, but it also has a full runtime context for us to be able to uh, build in user authentication, user management. Right, we can start having people sign up, create accounts, uh, persist their experience. Um, Obviously, user accounts is a huge part of pretty much any application that you need to make so that people can have access to their specific stuff. This will have that, and now this gives us a spot to build off of. We can build our newsletter functionality off of this, which we will. But right now, this is a pretty big step, and we got Claude to do it all for us. Stupid idiot! That stupid idiot did it all for us. Didn't even realize. No, install bumped. It's bumped our version of Next. That's fine. Per your choice is dark only. Design source. That's cool. Sweet. Okay. npm run dove. How do I get this? Did it finish, or does that mean it's still going? Did that finish, or does that mean it's still going? Okay. So what? I don't know that I could. Can I run stuff from here? Let's see. Terminal. That looks like a terminal thing. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Bro, they made this so cool. I hate them for making this so cool. I hate them for making this so freaking cool. Okay, localhost. Now what? Let's go to diff preview. That's all we needed. We didn't need this terminal. Kill, kill, kill. Bro. This is the coolest web editor code editor of all time. All right, so now we got the site. What do we want to change? We need to change some stuff. What's the minimum amount that we can make this useful? Like, first of all, we need to take some stuff out because we don't have stuff to fill in. So we can go ahead and say, all right, make the following changes to the landing page. Does shift enter work? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. We'll say right now we don't have any testimonials because we're brand new. Don't have many friends. Let's burn some tokens to tell Claude we don't have many friends because we're brand new and and brand new, not don't have many friends. Let's hide that section for now until we're able to ask for some testimonials. Okay, easy enough improvement. You don't want no fake testimonies on our site. That's not going to make anybody, it's not going to help build that trust with anybody. They know Sarah K ain't real. Priya R ain't real. How is this different from other AI creators? We document real builds with real revenue, real users, not hype. Every concept maps to something we or a guest actually ship. Yeah, it feels like it filled that in a little bit with like not quite the concept of the channel. Like that isn't the North Star guiding principle of the channel. It is like that is a description of what the channel does, but it isn't the primary differentiator. So I feel like we got to change that a little bit. Do I need to know how to code? No, the whole point is showing you how AI lets non-engineers ship real software. We do go technical when it matters, but always with the goal of empowering builders, not gatekeeping. I mean, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty much the purpose of this, and it is for people who don't know how to code necessarily. They could, but at this point, you don't really need to fully know. You can get by. Who's this for? Independent creators, podcasters, newsletter writers, and YouTubers who already have an audience and want to build owned products on top of it. Also, developers, operators, and consultants working inside creator businesses. Yeah, I would probably tweak that too to be more brand. It's not just creators; it's people building brands. Like talking specifically to creators, but primarily through this brand, because media brands are built around attention. Attention, you need to build products for that audience. So, and it's what my background is in. It's what my expertise is in. So, I'm speaking to creators mainly because I haven't built up like a finance app, but but the principles and the stuff I'm teaching is pretty relevant across the board for other brands, not just media brands. So we'll probably tweak that. Is there paid offering? Channel and newsletter are free. Tools and templates we build along the way live in a resources hub. Most are free, some are paid. Again, this is a little bit of wishful thinking. So we got to tweak the copy. We'll have that. We'll have it go through and do that. Uh, Tweak the frequently asked questions copy so that it doesn't say anything that isn't expressly true right now. Uh, especially, especially the posting schedule, which is entirely made up. I never said Tuesday. Today's Monday, dog. Say schedule, and especially the posting schedule Tuesdays, as well as the paid offering isn't available yet. Paid offering or newsletter. We should also change this call to action. Change the call to action component so that it doesn't report false stats like 142,000 YouTube subs. Given the channel's new and that there aren't many stats to point out, perhaps we should just hide the stats grid for now until we have more stats to report. Again, this kind of goes into that principle, this general principle that I use when building products, which is you really want to start from like the that core foundation and then just build outwards on it. So what I mean by that is that I know that as time goes on, we're going to build up more and more of an audience. Those stats are going to get more built up, and ultimately, I think it's good marketing material on the site. So we may have got there a little early for when we're ready, when going through and creating the design from nothing with Claude's design. But that doesn't mean that I don't want it eventually. It just means that we're not quite there. We're building up towards that. And that's a general way that I think about designing these products. Oftentimes, the conversations we're talking about are like the end goal of the product. Oh, I want this. I want this ultimate, you know, amusement park brand amusement park, digital amusement park, or I want this like game suite, or I want this rankings product that has all these different facets or components. But then when you got to actually build it out, you got to think about, all right, well, like what's the core of this thing? What's the thing that all the other things need? And that, it will be is kind of the essence of it. And so I'm going through now and basically moving it back from that ideal. This is ideally what we have on here, and moving it back towards, okay, this is what we want to deliver right now. Change what else in here? Yeah, like hide the newsletter. Hide the newsletter for now until we implement it. What else? AI native building, create a product flywheel, 4 pillars. Uh, the 4 pillars are great at communicating the types of content that we'll make, but they aren't full-fledged series yet. Adjust the landing page copy related to the 4 pillars so that it reflects the accurate value that we're offering right now. Same with this video stuff. We probably want to hide this for now until we have a YouTube API integration where we could pull these videos down directly and show them on the landing page, which we will do. Similarly, the latest section looks and feels great, but without a working integration that pulls actual videos, it isn't useful to the visitor. I recommend that we hide it for now and add the video integration as a follow up. Cool. Anything else we want to do in here? Creator, CTO, operating system, distribution, ownership, leverage. Yeah, own your products, not platforms. Ship content that compounds. Leverage AI as a capacity multiplier. Yeah, I like that. Again, that is generally coming from the brand work that we've done. If you didn't watch the earlier Claude Design live stream where we went through and built the bones of this landing page, then that might be coming out of nowhere. But some of the stuff comes from the brand definition that we gave it. But some of it is it's taking leaps and being like, okay, this is the brand, and this is what a landing page would look like for the brand, and that's not necessarily what we want, or that's not necessarily what what the vision is yet. So watch the manifesto, episode 1, 12 to 4. I don't know. You can leave that, I guess. The /spec section is looks nice, but maybe unclear to the user. Since there's no episode, there's no content, there's no specific content about that. Like, I like the concept, but I think we need to do work to like actually spec that out before we start putting it on the landing page. All right, let's give it this, see, have it iterate on it. So this is pretty cool. We can take it directly from Claude Design, pass it off to Claude Code. Now we're in Claude Code. Claude Code has these different editing tools, code editing tools that typically you see built more into like these different runtime tools like Replit or Xcode. It's built directly into Claude Code. This is new, at least since I've used the desktop app. When using the terminal, I've been using Chrome. There's like a Chrome integration where you can have Claude directly access the your Chrome browser and interact in there. This looks like it has this built directly into it so that Claude can see all this code that's being rendered here, like all these different elements and stuff, and edit it directly, which should cut down on some of the back and forth, which is nice. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. How we doing, chat? Welcome in. Welcome into Creator CTO Live, baby. We're live and in charge. We're live right now. I need some testes from the chat. Testimonials. Need some testes from the chat. That's problematic. Okay. I finally understood what we've been saying the whole time. Strip anything not true yet. Hide unbuilt sections. Plan. All right. Hide videos, no integration testimonials, no testimonials yet. CTA stats grid. Newsletter everywhere. And easy, like landing page stuff is easy to change over time. We can tweak it, modify it as we want. So don't get too stuck on the landing page copy or the landing page elements. Just get some. Just get some. That's what we're doing today. We're getting some. Get something out there, and then we work it better. Make it great. So while it is working on those changes, we can ask like, where can I host the Next.js app, right? As I mentioned before, website works, you need to host it somewhere. It needs to be on a server which other people on the internet can access. Typically, this is done via some cloud management, cloud service, AWS, Google Cloud Storage. Heroku is a common one, or used to be a common one. Vercel is one that a lot of people use for Next. There's a bunch of different options, as you saw Vercel here in front of my face. Probably why it popped up in my brain. There's a bunch of options, and sometimes the framework matters. Some of these are more specific to framework, but you got to pick somewhere where you're going to host the application so that people can access it, and so that you can build a database and stuff that isn't on your local computer, which isn't going to be accessible when your local computer is offline or yeah, you don't want things going through your local computer. That wouldn't work. So you can have your own box nowadays, like run your own server essentially and run your website on there, but that's probably a little too complicated for this crowd for now. For now, until I'm done with you. Netlify is another common one where you can have some free hosting for your website if it's not if you don't have a database, if you don't have like a lot of extra add-ons to it, you just need a hosting. Some of these sites like Netlify, Vercel offer really nice free versions. Uh, let's use Vercel today. Railway is one. I use Railway for a lot of stuff. I use Railway for a lot of my apps. That one's pretty easy to use. It's a little bit more work, a little bit more technical than say a Vercel, but and a little bit less. It's more general. It's not like Vercel is more built towards Next.js, whereas Railway is more general. You can build Rails apps into it. You can build Next apps into it. Does not matter. It's saying right here, Railway is great when your app needs more backend stuff. Render is another solid one. Host the whole app type of platform. AWS Amplify can host Next.js. So that's going to AWS. DigitalOcean is another one. It's like cloud hosting. Fly.io is another one. And then this is the self-hosting, which you can do, which we're not going to get into, but you could do that if you wanted to not be dependent on one of these. Cloudflare Pages Workers. So Cloudflare itself is now offers hosting, which is pretty sweet. Oftentimes you'll have Cloudflare. You could add Cloudflare to your existing website stack so that it helps protect you against things like a DDoS attack, right? Somebody throwing a bunch of bots at hitting your website trying to downgrade the server, or like overload the server and make your site suck. Cloudflare is good for those types of things. But yeah, there's your quick primer on where on hosting, web hosting here. We're gonna Netlify is good. I think we'll use Vercel or Railway. Side projects moving toward real projects with databases. Vercel, you want GitHub push, automatic deploy, preview URLs for every branch URL. Next.js features to just work, minimal DevOps. Okay, well, how about this? Compare and contrast Vercel and Railway for hosting Next.js apps. And this is another great point I should point out here is that use the bots to help you. Use your bots as your technical advisor. Help them use the bots to help you think of the questions you need to ask in order to make the best decision here. Okay, so it's basically saying Vercel is simpler, right? It's built around this single use case, deploying a Next.js application. It's front end stuff. Railway is a little bit closer towards full service. We can host, a bunch of different types of things. You just need to give it the right instructions, give it the right configuration and setup. Give me a repo doc file database. It's a little bit more to set up. Now I've been working with Railway for a few months now. It's definitely a little tricky, but with the bot, it's not too bad. For this, let's do Vercel, and we can always change. We can always move later on. A lot of times, what happens is as your product grows, as you get more users and stuff, wherever you were hosting before, it doesn't make sense to host now. You eventually have to make the transition anyway, just for cost. So let's go ahead and go with Vercel. All right, one open call for you. Hero still renders a stylish YouTube player frame as a visual that's now labeled coming soon with no fake stats. Keep as illustrated. Let's see what it did. All right, we live? Is this live? Is this live? Let's see. AI, a channel for creators building AI native products, real builds, AI workflows, system. Yep, that looks fine. Three forces every build maps to. Follow along. Okay, that's fine. The thesis. Here's the live build one coming soon. And this is one we could probably put in maybe like a placeholder. Uh, we can ask it to like a placeholder, even if we don't have the full YouTube API integration. We could use something a little simpler like the YouTube player embed, which would let us essentially show one YouTube player here, like for a video. We could even have it switch between some of the previous live streams. The problem is that there's not one specific one I want to put in there yet, but maybe we should do that. If it's a matter of hiding it versus not hiding it, I think maybe showing some of the existing content could be useful. Uh, okay, well, we can ask the bot about that. Otherwise, let's make sure the rest of these, there's nothing untrue here, that this is, representing the brand how we want it to, which is the ultimate purpose of the landing page. It's to, from the highest level, like getting the people who land on that page to understand what it is and what value you provide as quickly as possible. Check translation, creator business info. Love this. Creator product flywheel. Great. And now they're not attached to series, so it's not misleading. It's kind of just telling you, okay, here are the four areas of value that that this brand generally provides. I'm not really going to provide a ton of extra value outside of these four, right? I'm not going to do a game show for tech stuff. Like that's not what this brand is about. If I did, I would have to make a new brand probably. Or I could make it part of this brand, but I have to make that decision. And I don't want to make that decision. So, or I don't want to agree to that decision. I want to make that decision in the negative. So that's what I'll do. You get my point. I'm yapping, but who's this for? Independent creators, podcasters, new. Blah, 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 blah. That's right. Do I need to know how to code? No. Yep. How's this different from any other? No, we document real builds end to end, the code, the decisions, trade offs instead of hype. Goal is to show how the actual process, not just polished outcomes. That's right. We're just getting started. This is no fixed schedule yet. Subscribe on YouTube and you'll see new builds and teardowns as they drop. Heck yeah, that's what we're looking for. Is there a paid offering? Not yet. Everything lives on YouTube and it's free. If we build tools or resources worth sharing down the line, we'll point you to them. Beautiful. Stop renting your own audience. Your audience own the stack. Beautiful. Much better. And uh, this is a real site. This isn't just a mock-up anymore, even though we're messing with this in Claude still. What we cover, and so this just goes down the page. That's perfect. And subscribe. This takes you to YouTube. This is perfect. Awesome. Okay, now we have this in Claude Code. Let's say, yeah, coming soon. I like that. Is there anything else we want to change? No, I don't think so. Let's just get this on Vercel. Bro, this is crazy. Not letting me opt out. Look at this. We went to Vercel and it's like enable agentic infrastructure. Bro, this doesn't click. This doesn't click. That's baloney. Somebody call the police. That's, oh, there it goes. All right. You can tell the police it was a false alarm. We're good. Okay, so this is a new project. We created it at the start of this, which means that it almost certainly does not have a GitHub yet. So that's fine. What we'll do is we can come in here and we can say, actually, I already started doing this. Yep. Okay, where'd it go? Here we go. All right, so I went into GitHub and I clicked a new repository, which brought me to this form here. You can go ahead and do this as well. GitHub is for hosting your code. It's where you can keep your code, make changes to it, track the changes. It's very useful. We're going to create an empty repo here. We'll make it, that's fine, I guess. We'll make it public, create an empty repo. And then it gives you instructions on how to connect this this repo to the local folder that we made, essentially. And so I'm going to go through those steps right now. Let's go ahead and copy this bad boy. This bad boy. Oh yeah, and I can run this right from the terminal. I forgot. Yo, fam, I forgot that you can just do this. Okay, so what we can do is where'd it go? I'll make this left. Now I'll make this right. Okay, beautiful. And what we want to say, yeah, this one here. Bop. All right, first we need to say get init. Now we have an empty one and we want to do that same line again. Beautiful. Okay, so now we can say get, yeah, that's not right, grip branch dash m main, just like we're following the instructions right down here in this bottom left part. It ain't that complicated. Git push u origin main. Now we're gonna push it up. Error failed to push some rest to. Why? Oh, maybe this terminal is not authenticated in here. A respect main does not match any. What is this? So what you can do if you run into something like this is take this and we can go back to Claude Code, or we can, oh, we're already in Claude Code. Yeah, we could say, you can ask Claude bot, or we can ask Chat GPT bot. Say, I'm trying to push this uh, to GitHub, but I'm getting this error. Oh, okay. So we haven't committed anything yet. That's cost. Okay, so we need to add a commit now. Now we should be able to do it. Bada bing. All right, so now we have our code in GitHub. We had Claude Code make the initial boilerplate for our application. It's not even the boilerplate. We had Claude Code create the initial version of our website just from the Claude Design zip files. So we gave it the zip files, and then we said, "Hey, make it." Made a few tweaks to the copy to the landing page. Ultimately, I wonder if they have a pipeline to port it back into Claude Design, because it'd be useful to, as you're tweaking and stuff, to get feedback. 'Cause it's not just a one-way handoff. But I didn't see that, so I don't know. Okay, now that that is done, we have it in GitHub. You can reload, and it should be right here in your repository. This new one that you've created. Um, so now that it is in GitHub, what we can do is we can make a new one. We can connect the dots for Vercel. We can tell Vercel, hey, launch a new application, Next.js application, and here's where we're storing that application. So let's create a new project here. Okay, I feel like I did this, but sure. Okay, that's fine. All right, so it'll say import Git. Let's build something new. Ask you to build or enter a GitHub or a Git repository URL. So we could give it the URL from right here. This one, if you wanted to go to the URL, grab this and put it in here. You can also see down here, if you have your GitHub account connected to Vercel, then it'll pull all of the repositories from your account automatically, and you can just import straight from there. Here's the one we just made, creator CTO.com. We'll go ahead and import this. It's a Next.js app. Here's the different, like here's other frameworks you could use, create React app, Django, Python. There's like a bunch of these. This is what I was trying to tell you before. There's like a ton of these frameworks that you can use or have the bot use. And really, they all have trade-offs for different things. Some of them are better for some things. Some of them are worse for others. It's really a preference thing and a use case thing. Does the strengths match whatever your use case is? I think this is all standard. I don't think we have any custom commands to run when you build. and no custom environment variables yet, which we'll eventually have to add. That's just basically a way that we can give like, specify specific things for different environments, such as development versus production. Not using your maybe not using your production, Stripe credentials. Instead, use your development Stripe credentials. Don't charge yourself when you're trying to build stuff. All right, so now Vercel is going through the process of deploying our application. At the end of this, we should have a link, Vercel link that lets us navigate to our application, our live application. And from there, we can work on getting it under our own URL, like our own domain. But the nice thing about Vercel is that it gets you up and going real quick, or tools like Vercel, I should say. Let's see. Congratulations, you deployed your new project to my projects. Cool, cool. Continue dashboard, add domain, instant previews, enable speed insights. Continue, add domain. Yeah, let's just continue. I want to see it. See it. So if we go to this website or this link, this is not it. Visit, visit, visit. Boom! There it is. Look at this recording. I am recording right now, but as I say, I'm not recording. Yes, I am. I am absolutely recording right now. This is live. I could give you this URL right now. You could go to this and you could see it. Now, the next step, of course, is adding our own URL to this. I'm not going to go into that in this video because it's more of just kind of like it's just a few steps you have to take to do that. It's not really fun. It's a lot of plumbing, but it is pretty straightforward. And Vercel has a way that they could show, like it walks you through it if you need help. Um, but for now, our landing page is up and going. We have something, we have somewhere for our audience to go. I could include this link in my YouTube videos and have them go to this. And that's pretty sweet. This is the first step. This is step one. You need a landing page. From here, we can add in the newsletter. We can add in user management. We can add in the YouTube videos. We can add in our custom products. And we'll continue to build upon this. But this was just the start. And now we have a website that is up in production live on the internet. We used Vercel. We used Claude Code with really like maybe 3 to 4 back and forths. And really the back and forths were mainly me tweaking wording and brand stuff. It wasn't a crazy amount of, hey, you have to do this, this, and this. So we use Next.js, built a Next.js app to run our landing page here. And then we deployed that on Vercel, and it's a free service. At least the initial versions are free. And so you can mess with this, but you also aren't locked into Vercel. You can use other tools. You can, depending on price and capability and all that. But that is where we're going to wrap this stream today. Thank you for joining in. Again, it's Creator CTO, brand new YouTube channel that I am making, putting all this tech content around AI, helping other creators, product builders, operators use AI to actually build products that people want. Products that give you leverage, make you money, and make you have fun. That's it. All right. If you have any questions or you found any sort of value in this content, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear some feedback either via the comments or if you reach out via DMs. Either way, it'd be very much appreciated. I love you and have a good rest of your day. End the stream, end of the stream, end of the stream.